What's up? Thanks for the happy birthday. Chat. Thank you. My first day being awake at a somewhat normal time. No, because it only affects certain tags, and I don't stream politics, so it doesn't affect me. Also, I don't run ads. I don't actually run ads. It's like I don't like good, honestly. Like totally down with political streamers losing their revenue. I don't really fucking care. Thanks, Book, for the 29 months, and Theo, thanks for the 72 months, man. Thanks, guys. We got some updates. I'm working with Corlo, the artist behind the Creo cards. We're doing a poster for the subathon next month. It's gonna be sick. So, get ready for that. I'll probably show that in like a few weeks, maybe. There's gonna be like the SpongeBob version, and there's gonna be like a version that doesn't have copyright material on it, so you guys can like buy them if you want, and we'll like have a thing where like if you buy the poster, it adds time to the timer, you know, that kind of a thing. Be kind of sick. But yeah, the Creo cards are going pretty well too, though. We have a few new ones that got finished today, actually. Officially finished and in the hatch. We're at 67 finished. Thanks, Vertigo. I've been watching a lot of Metroid Prime content lately. I don't know if you still stream, but I'll probably be like lurking at some point if you do. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, today I've just been... I talked to some of my buddies for like a few hours, and now we're just doing this. Oh yeah, I wasn't on Twitch. I'm not usually on Twitch until like very late night, but... That's what's tough, is like I get off my stream when the website's like basically dead. So nobody's online. MP4. Oh, Metroid Prime 4. Yeah, I forgot that was even a thing. Yeah, that game got announced when I was in high school. Yo, Zoomy, what's up? Metroid Prime 4 is like the Battle for Bikini Bottom history videos. Just got restarted like 3 times and it's never coming out. But 2026, I say 2026. 2026 is when it's happening. I mean, like, the more strats we find, the sooner sub 40 happens, but that's when I plan on doing it. 20th. Yeah, it's gonna be December 20th through December 31st. It's 12 days. We'll get back to speedrunning as soon as that's over. Yeah, I wanna do something, you know. I wanna do, like, something. Yeah, I mean, like, Prime 4 is gonna be on the Switch too, I imagine. Which, like, the first 2 were GameCube, and the third one was Wii. It's like nothing on the Wii U, nothing on the Switch. It's crazy. It's like legit almost like 20 years, basically. Very energetic. Yeah, I'm actually really tired, I'm not gonna lie, I'm just like faking it. But, you know. if I manage to fall asleep for 8 full hours for like a few days in a row, maybe I'll start feeling better. But today I just had to be up at the right time. Just try to avoid the hard day. So you wake up and you're just zombie for like 10 hours. Yeah, what's up, man? How's it going? It's also like, you know, like there's actual people to talk to. Like when I start my stream at 1 AM, nobody's here, so there's nobody to talk to. So yeah, that's, you know, it's gonna change how I behave. I don't know, I don't just like talk for the sake of talking. I tend to only talk when I'm talked to when I'm streaming like this. Yo, what's up? Yo, thanks. So, yeah, this is the earliest I've streamed in like a week. We were doing really well this year with the streams being on time. Like good 6 months of consistent streams. I gotta get back to that. Yeah, I've been tired. Well, today's the first step in doing that. Today's the first step in that process of fixing it. So we'll see. Yeah, the best way to promote this subathon though is like I get this 40 and I can make the explain videos. We can drop those next month. Be perfect. Like obviously I want to get 40 so because like the next step to getting 39, but like getting it before the subathon and like using it to promote the subathon would be really just perfect, honestly. So. I don't know if it'll happen, but that would work out really, really well. If it does happen that way. Yeah, it's really more about like what time you wake up every day and not what time you sleep, because like your brain just gets used to waking up at weird times. Yeah. Alright.
Spot.
2 days in a row, I could barely even play the game. It's like hardly got to play. I'm gonna do my best today, but I am operating on like 3 hours of sleep. The only difference is that I'm waking up like 10 hours earlier than I usually do, so... that, you know... I'm not at the point where having 3 hours sleep will probably be an issue yet, but it'll... By the end of the stream, I'll probably be there. Just really tired. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't have a choice, because... I don't know. I can't keep waking up at 2 AM. I'm gonna be going to bed earlier, I guess. Maybe. Yo, what's up? How's it going? Yeah, it's my fault. I'm just fucking waking up too late, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm really in the position to be able to PB right now. I really haven't even been finishing runs. Haven't been playing enough, but I don't know. Today I'm just trying to get better at the game. That's all I can really try to do today. And whatever happens, happens, but yeah. It's hard coming off of September, saving 32 seconds. Continuing that is just like there's like literally not as much to save anymore. So.
Just met the sponginator.
Redeemed $1.
You've just met the sponginator.
Yeah, how's it going?
Say hello to a fellow friend.
What's up? Am I not? No, you're always dead from that. Yeah.
Are you ready, kids? Aye, aye, Captain! I can hear you! Aye, aye, Captain!
Hey, Mr.
Are you ready, kids? Aye, aye, Captain! I can hear you! Aye, aye, Captain!
When was the last time we even did one? I don't even remember.
Say hello to a fellow friend.
It was like the end of last month. It was fucking tough.
Number 1 with a few bounce after hunt, 3 years running. Thank you.
Hey Maloney, thanks for the 34 months. It actually was more recent than I thought. Shit.
Number 1 with a few bounce after hunt, 3 years running.
The sub count took a big hit this month because of the fucking waking up at 3 in the morning and streaming.
Are you ready, kids? Aye, aye, Captain! I can hear you! Aye, aye, Captain!
In SHiFT fashion, we celebrate Movie's birthday on neither of the days that were acceptable to do it. Because, like, we don't care. Pretty much be perfect. Thanks.
Hey, Mr.
Dude, I don't... What the fuck? Like, actually, what the fuck?
Are you ready, kids?
I mean, this is the way things were. At the start of the year, I was starting my stream at like 6 to 7 p.m. and then we would actually have time to do runs, and then we would do the joke run at like 1 in the morning or like 12. That just worked better than like recent times. We've been doing them at like 2 in the morning. We're not that close. We're still a month out. I mean, they're both games that'll be played. So, yeah, what's up? Yeah, people don't, exactly, people don't care. And that was also like 1 week after the Spongeathon as well. It sucks.
Are you ready, kids? Aye, aye, Captain! I can hear you! Aye, aye, Captain!
Hey, Mr.
Surprised that worked.
Are you ready, kids? I can hear you! Aye, aye, Captain!
Hey, Mr.
Are you ready, kids? Aye, aye, Captain! I can hear you! Aye, aye, Captain!
Hey, Mr.
What is it? You sent it to me on Discord. Wendy's gate. Come on, SHiFT. Just one bite, just like my show. What you didn't see is that the fucking thing started melting. Like the whole table was like wet. Like I just like, I don't know, like I appreciate the thought, but I don't eat fast food. But it was just like sitting there for like hours while I was practicing.
The marmalade.
I was just like locked in and just sitting. Yeah, someone ate it. Yeah. It was just sitting there melting for hours.
I can hear you.
Well, I mean, yeah, if ice cream or anything of the likes is sitting out for hours, it's just gonna fucking melt, obviously. But like the fact that like it was just sitting there like unprovoked. It just starts melting. Like, I didn't ask for it, you know what I mean? It's just like fucking Frosty just sitting there melting. Like, next to all my equipment. Yeah. Imagine. I had my eye on that shit. I put it on the ground before I did my run. Fucking Krabby Patty.
Where are all the security? This gets the guy who plays the game based on the show.
The show. I had to rewatch that clip recently. Come on, SHiFT, watch my show. Maybe the show will help you with the game? Come on, man, just one episode. How about some pizza delivery? Begging me to watch the show. What's your favorite show besides SpongeBob? It's like fucking like Clockwork Orange. He's like, his eyes are like fucking pinned open. Forced to watch the show. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. What even is the opener to this one? I don't even know what the thing is. I think it's like personal best or something like that. We're trying to really like widen the appeal, like, to the channel, like get people to click on the videos more with like the speedrun related stuff. Come on. Please. What's going on today, man? Come on. What the fuck is this shit? My God. I don't understand. It's literally fucking easy. Is the controller already fucking worn out after like a month of using it? Because that'd just be great. Honestly. No, I didn't sleep well, but I'm awake at the right time at least. This controller is already fucking getting old. It's annoying. This is the reason why FOB exists, by the way. The GameCube controllers that like the control stick angles never like change because they're magnetic or whatever. Because when these controllers get old, the angle literally just changes. It's so fucking cancer. They'll last me like a month to 3 months, usually. This one's already getting really bad. I mean, like, the fact that this is not working, like, literally every time that I do it is just, like, just fucking terrible. This is how it always starts. It's how you know the controller is starting to get bad, is when this stops working. You can't do that with Xbox. That's an N64 thing. You can't just like unplug the stick boxes. You have to solder them back on. Yeah, no, like this is like literally just torture. Speedrunning a game with a controller is the most fucking dumb thing ever. Yeah. So literally, like, I did the Patrick Star game for a week with keyboard and mouse. Never dropped a single input ever. It's actually just fucking broken. Yeah, games like this that wouldn't even, like, using keyboard and mouse at this game would just be horrible to begin with. Because the angles are so precise that, like, keys literally cannot replicate the angles you have to hit in the game. You need an analog stick for this game. It's just a shit situation. There's nothing you can really do about it. Yeah, Blandon, thanks for the 8 months. What's up? I mean, we can sit here about like fantasizing about like modded controllers, but the reality is that like it's very rare that like any community can create something like that. Like Steel Stick or FOB, like these are things that like very few communities have, and we are not one of them. So, yeah. Well, yeah, I mean that's Smash though. They're not making original Xbox controllers in Smash. Just different console. That stuff, you have to be able to manufacture it too. It takes a lot of effort. Yeah, like this, like you're supposed to be like holding down to get into this. It's like fucking diagonal at this point. It's really, really bad. Yeah, but like, that's different though, because the reason why those games have problems with the Xbox is because they're not calibrated properly. Like, there are some Xbox games that, like, when you use the Xbox control stick, it recalibrates itself, and some games have like shitty Xbox ports that don't account for that. This game actually utilizes that technology properly, so we don't have that issue, but in general, yeah, a lot of games had that problem on Xbox, but this isn't the same as that. Like, you like walk forward and it like slows you down. Like, there are a bunch of games on Xbox that are like that, just because they weren't ported properly. But this game is just like, everything in this game is like angle specific and highly technical, so you're just wearing the controller down, and it's gonna vary game to game, obviously. Like, this game will just destroy controllers because of all the cruise boosting and all the frame perfects and angles and shit. So it's like, that's the real problem, is these things aren't durable. That's the thing, is like you need a controller for that though. Like, in a game like this where like the angle that you're facing impacts lag and like the setup and stuff like that, like you have to be able to control both sticks. Like, you wouldn't be able to get this level of precision on keyboard and mouse, so it's kind of a problem. Like, even if you could use it, you still wouldn't use it. Ideal scenario is like a FOB type thing where, you know, it's like durable technology where the angles don't change and you can like calibrate them and stuff. Wow, man. What the fuck was I practicing yesterday that now this thing is like actually unusable? Was it the fucking stupid rolling ball thing? I don't even know. We're not gonna reach the point where there are no more. Like that's just like not even. That's a question that we get with like this shit, like the Xbox HDDs. Like, what are you gonna do when there are no more Xboxes? Like, there are 20 million of them. And there are more controllers than there are consoles out there. There's literal just fucking millions. Yeah. What would you do if a meteor hit the last Xbox on Earth? They're just gonna get more expensive. Adpocalypse is a hoax, it's not actually happening. Just that Twitch is now forcing people to tag their content accordingly. And obviously, like, Coca-Cola is not going to want to advertise on political content or like nudity. So yeah, the adpocalypse stuff is a hoax, and it's not real. I think it's actually good that people are getting demonetized for talking about controversial issues, like, for a living. That shit's fucking cancer. They should not be streaming on Twitch anymore. Hopefully they go to like Rumble or something. Hopefully they stop making money, they can go to Rumble. I don't care anymore, man. I'm full war at this point. Get the fuck off my platform. They make us all look terrible. Even if it's not going to solve the attention span issues and like third-party sites like redirecting the traffic, like it's still just platform is better without them. Like I don't even have that big of an issue with like Kai Cenat like doing IRL streams and stuff. Just, you know, get rid of the fucking political streamers first and then we'll deal with that shit, you know. I mean, Kick is where you go if you get banished from Twitch, and Rumble is where you go if you get banished from Kick. That's pretty much... that's how I describe it. Yeah, I just don't like that, like... that's what people think Twitch is, just like that kind of shit. Like I just much preferred the era when Ninja was the face of the platform. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with what he's doing inherently other than the fact that like it's big. Like he were just like some random dude who's not like the literal face of Twitch, like I wouldn't mind it as much, but like the stage shit with like his fucking robot like doing dumb shit that I'm seeing on Twitter every day is just like, it's all just like, what's the word for it? It's just like a sensory overload. It's just reality TV now. I'm just not a big fan of like the Mr. Beast type shit where you just like take what's proven to work and what's proven to hold attention spans on like reality TV and just repurpose it onto these like smaller platforms that are supposed to be for creators to just like do their thing, you know. That's really my issue with it. Like he should just have his own show on like Netflix, you know what I mean? There needs to be more gatekeeping on this website. That's my issue with it all. Like let streaming be streaming, and then like reality TV can just like be reality TV. Well, that's the end game for all these platforms. Is like CNN and Fox News are like fucking advertising on YouTube. And, like Mr. Beast is doing his fucking game shows. It's like, why don't they just do it on cable? It's like, ironically, that's kind of like the need for like cable to actually be not shit, so there's less of an incentive for them to migrate over here. Yeah, that's what I liked back in the day, was games and esports, yeah. And like I'm okay with like hobbies like music and art, like that's all fine, you know, it's all similar. I just like this platform when like there was like merit to being big. Nowadays it's just like a shouting match, whoever can hold attention for the longest. I liked when like the most popular streamers were like, if you were partnered, like you knew that that person was like exceptional at something. Like they got partnered because of the community they built around that specific thing was like exceptional. They're like known for, they have like a claim to fame. There are so many influencers now that like their claim to fame is just like reacting to something or just like saying some controversial thing. It's not even like, you know, it's just none of its grassroots anymore. It's all just like live stream fails. And then what does that do? It just makes kids want to do the exact same thing, and that's how they get introduced to it. That's what they do when they stream. People like come in my chat saying womp womp because I'm speedrunning a 20-year-old game, as if that's like not acceptable to do. I should just be fucking like fucking around with robots and shit, whatever the fuck Kai's doing. It's just this generation is just cooked, man. Hit Beast Core. Yeah, I mean like this, like the fucking like Kai Cenat stuff is just reality TV here. You know, like the streamer awards is literally just like the fucking like Grammys and Emmys and all that shit just repurposed. Like you're just taking these fucking things that are proven to work on cable and just like redoing it here. It's just cancer. I hate all of it. It's just not creative at all. I don't know, streaming used to be a unique medium, now it's just like fucking... People are just trying to like mold it into cable, basically. Well yeah, cause like that's just like... That's how those people always... Like that's how they perceive Twitch, man. It's like... I like very high key am hoping that Suiji doesn't win just to discredit the validity of that whole event. The whole speedrunner thing, like best speedrunner. If he doesn't win, first off, it's gonna make him bigger because the outrage is just gonna get him more popularity, and then second, it just discredits the whole event just by like literally just popularity contests are the dumbest thing ever, dude. Like, that'd just be perfect if like the undisputed best speedrunner of the year just doesn't win it, and it's just some fucking guy who's just popular, you know, because his audience is bigger. With how speedrunning is just so small this year, I mean, he's probably got a good chance of being the winner, but there's also like just the fact that, you know, I don't think that anybody who in that nobody in that position should be like judging any kind of activity that requires skill. Like stay in your lane, you know. Like, stay out of our community.
The marmalade.
Where's all the security?
Well, like Ludwig is like pushing it really hard though. Like he's like reacting to the leaderboards on his stream and shit. I mean, at least like, I think he even knows it's fucking bullshit, dude. Like he low-key knows that it's kind of rigged. That the whole thing is just a joke. But he's just like playing favorites and shit. It just so happens that he's playing favorites with somebody who actually deserves it, right? But at the same time, like it's just a fucking popularity contest, you know. It's really interesting how these streamers like try to seek validation from these like the Smash community, like he's all like buddy with like Mango. because like, you know, he's actually good at games, and like now he's like doing the same thing with the Mario community. It's like, what if we all just withdrew from this shit and stopped feeding into it? Like, what are these people gonna talk about if they can't react to what we're doing? I mean, it's just the fact that, like, these kinds of streamers can just exist, you know? Like, they don't actually play these games. And, like, it's not like these fucking videos take that, like, they take it from somebody who made the videos people were saying were, like, some of the best history videos on speedrunning ever made, right? Literally just intermediate level editing. You can teach yourself that shit in, like, a week, you know? Like, so many people just aren't willing to take the leap and make their own videos. Like, if people actually did that, like, these people would just be useless. There'd be no need for them. I'm guilty of it too. Like, I could definitely be doing a better job at, like, making videos about, like, what's going on with the game and all that shit. Could absolutely be doing better, but I'm also not complaining about my current situation. If I were upset about, like, what my numbers are looking like, I'd definitely be making more shit. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, pretty much. But, like, the thing is, though, like, H3 actually did have talent. Like, he was actually funny and creative. Ludwig is neither of those things. Like, he's always just been, like, reactor guy. And maybe, like, when he was a commentator, he was actually providing something of value to these communities, but, like, that's really all I can think of. I mean, if he just has a lot of money to, like, inject into communities where he wants to seek validation, that's pretty much his whole shtick at this point. He's basically just Mr. Beast, but for Twitch. And I know he's not literally on Twitch anymore, but, like, it's still the same thing. Like, he still, like, influences the culture over here. Shit. Yeah, I'm still waiting. Like Moist is somebody where, like, I would love to see an arc where he, like, just, like, picks up a game, speedrunning or not, and just, like, hones in. Like, he just locks in for, like, a whole year and just tries to get really good at it. That'd be fucking sick. And I know he's, like 2 steps away from doing that at all times. Like, he'd be great for that. He could literally change the direction of the platform. Like, that's all we need is, like, if like, the politics and shit just gets shut down over time because of the whole, like, tags thing and, like, advertisers not wanting to put their ads on these, like, political streams. And, like, somebody like Moist just starts, like, speedrunning or, like, competing in, like, Smash or something like that. You know, everybody else would just fucking do it too, you know? Yeah, like, all these, like, React tubers just, like... If you really pay attention to, like, the way the tides move, they all just kind of, like, do whatever Moist is doing or whatever Moist is talking about. Like, he's, like, the OG internet guy and everybody else kind of just copies him in a lot of ways. Which you can see, like, he actually has his own interests and he's not just, like, following the crowd, you know? He still hits the talking points that most people are gonna, like, talk about, like, the news and shit, but... Like, he clearly has his own interests and... He's not just, like, seeking validation from smaller communities, he's creating them, you know? Like, his speedrun challenges where he takes a game that nobody was gonna play otherwise and just gets people to play it. Yeah, that's productive. I like that stuff. But H3 is a different case because, like, he actually was somebody who was, like, he was respected as a creator and, like, a comedian and all that shit, but he ended up, I guess, doing the podcast, and that was easier, made more money, and it's tough to really say what happened to him, but now he's just, like, I think that, like, eventually people just, if they go down that road long enough, they start to think that their opinions matter a lot. And then, next thing you know, you got people like him and, like, Destiny and, like, Hassan, like preaching about their values and views and politics and stuff. You know. I The difference is that, like, I know that, like, Hassan has always been, like, a political guy. Destiny is somebody who gamed and then transitioned to, you know, politics, but I don't know. H3 is somebody who is, like, at the top of his game, he was extremely influential and well-liked and creative and artistic, but, yeah. These days, it's just, like, debating other people, like Destiny types, yeah. I have some choice words about Destiny that I'll withhold on this stream, but I will say that he's done some shit to people that are close to me that I don't appreciate. I'll leave it at that. In general, I think it's good that Twitch is making a move to not force advertisers to, like, place ads on these kinds of streams. Because if they make less money, they're not going to get promoted as much, and those two things together, like, it's going to slowly demotivate people from actually streaming that kind of shit here.
Are you ready, kids? I can hear you.
Yeah, Vape Nation was electric for when that was made, yeah. I'm not saying that he should be doing the same things he's like, but, you know, no creative does the same things they were doing when they first started, you know. But he had the ability to do it, and I think the people were just disappointed. I will say though that, like, he did make a pretty positive impact when he was in his prime, even outside of, like, the whole, you know, like, skits thing that he was doing. The lawsuit for, fuck, what was it about? He won a lawsuit for fair use that was pretty important to YouTube and, like, gaming content and all that shit. So you gotta at least respect him for that, like, kind of like I mean, like, I think of, like, Carl Jobst, where, like, he's in the heat of this lawsuit with Billy Mitchell just for the sake of the integrity of, like, gaming and leaderboards and stuff like that. So, you know, like, you gotta give H3 respect for sticking through to the end of that and winning the lawsuit and all that, but you can also just still be disappointed with, like, where he's gone with his content. That's fair game, too. Yeah, what's up? Yeah, that's gonna be like the speedrunning moment, like for YouTube, when H3 like announced that he won the lawsuit. The day that Billy Mitchell gets taken down is gonna be a glorious day for speedrunning and like high scoring and shit like that. Like when it's official that like his records were like legally not legit. Makes me wonder how many people fucking cheated, dude. Like before live streaming especially. Yeah, like Todd Rogers just like said fuck it, you know, he's gone at this point. I think he still just like lies to himself, but he's not like making a huge fuss over it. That was such a big fucking joke back then, man. Like starting your runs in second gear was a big meme for a long time. You just gotta start it in second gear, man. You're not considering the human element of the game. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, let's discuss a concept called tool-assisted speedrunning or superplay. This is literally like the parameter of what's possible in the game's code for how fast this game can go. Dude, so many people fucking cheat, man. It's like... I just don't want to think about it. I know that doesn't happen in this community, I'm pretty sure, because like... It would literally have to be me. Like, I'd have to be the cheater, because like... Anybody else who cheats to get world record, no one's gonna believe it, you know what I mean? It almost like discourages cheating, because like, nobody can even cheat. That's just the ultimate goal, is like... You gotta have your game at a point where even if somebody cheated, they wouldn't even be believed. And then just don't cheat yourself. And then there are no cheaters. Problem solved. Yeah, cheating is like... I think a lot of cheaters just do it because they're coping. They're not doing it with the intent of like stealing from somebody. They're just coping. You definitely need to have like some kind of like therapy that like if you're that kind of person though. Like, at minimum, just do some like deep interrogation of yourself if you really like find yourself in that spot. Well, do you think that Dream like did anything to like, you know, he probably just like pushes that shit down, you know what I mean? That's the one thing about having a massive audience that just yes-mans everything that you do is like... You're not actually getting valid feedback, and when you do get valid feedback, you just can deny it, you know? Like, when you're so big that your actions don't have consequences effectively, because, like, even, like, on Twitch, like, people get banned and they just come back bigger. There's a point where you get so big that your actions just no longer have consequences. I think that in real time we're witnessing the fall off of a lot of these fucking people who just came up and became popular during the pandemic. And I love it. The pandemic era of streaming, all the people who got big during that time are just all fucking cancerous, dude. Like, I can't think of a single person who came up in that era that is like good for the platform. Bad. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like the psychopath era of the internet. Well, that's what I think happened with Dream, is like he didn't want to give up the popularity or the money of like what he was doing with his channel, and actually like putting time into getting a record takes too much effort, so he just wanted to continue speedrunning competitively, but he wasn't willing to put the time in because he probably justified it with like, well, I have to run a big YouTube channel and these other guys don't have to, so I'm just gonna like give myself better luck because I don't have time to play. Which is crazy, because like Minecraft is a luck-based game. Like it's knowledge-based, but like you're ultimately never gonna get your run if you don't get lucky. Like Minecraft is like truly the sum of the time that you put into it. You know, there's no like... There comes a point where the amount of practice you put in is not having a significant impact on how good you are at that game. Like, I imagine that, like, the top runners of Minecraft don't sit and practice for, like, 4 hours before they do runs, you know? Like, I doubt that's the case. So if luck and decision-making based on the luck that you get is all you have, by making the luck consistently good, it's like... You're not even playing the same game. Yeah, that's another thing too, is like... You have your head so far up your ass that you make a big deal about showing your face. Like, everybody fucking shows their face, man. Like, come on. That's so fucking annoying, dude. It's just like... I can't stand that. That's like my biggest pet peeve on the internet. Like, guys, I'm showing my face. Oh, you mean like everybody else?
I fly like the...
Like, stop. And he had that whole like phase where he's just like, nobody understands me, like you're a fucking multi-millionaire. Like, shut up. Your life is so hard, dude. Oh my god. Yeah, thanks for the good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for the 32 months, pig. What? Yeah, like what does that even have to do with anything? Yeah, these people just become these like mysterious personalities. Like, so much of why they're actually interesting is because they're mysterious, and once they give that up, they're just no longer interesting to people. They're not real people, they're just cults of personality. Yeah, I personally am all for it, you know. I like that Ludwig is being criticized for being wishy-washy about Hassan's ridiculous political takes and statements. He's afraid to have any kind of involvement. I like people are finally calling out how wishy-washy he is. You know, I like that in general Hassan is actually being criticized for the ridiculous shit he says on his stream, even if, you know, a lot of it is just Destiny, just like throwing people at him. Honestly, they all just deserve to, they all deserve what they have coming to them, man. These are people who just report news and fan flames on bullshit that just distracts us from the actual stuff that's going on these platforms. They just take all of your attention away. I'm fully down for the downfall. Yeah, can we please just be at the end of that shit? Like, I just don't understand how we got to the point where we just, like, literally just, like, look up to these princesses who just, like, literally just that. Damn, that's crazy. Like, oh, please tell me what to think, please. Like, you sit at your fucking setup for a living and just react to stuff. Like, I just don't understand how we reached this point. They don't even make an effort to actually make it creative. They just fucking react, and like the expectation is like my opinion matters, and that's why you're watching. So it's just frustrating. Current events, damn, that's crazy. How did we get here? I wonder if I'd like it more if it weren't about current events. Like, shedding light on interesting topics that are just, like, not talked about.
Say hello to my little bubble friend. Say hello to my little bubble friend.
I don't know, it's like listening to like a professional speedrunner's take on like speedrunning and like a professional Smash player's take on like Smash, like reacting to like some news that came out. Like that's like, you know, totally different than just like reacting to anything and everything that is currently being talked about. It's like, why do we care about this guy's opinion? Oh, I don't know, like it's popular. Like we forgot about that extra step. Like, yeah, the reason why we care about this person's reaction to this like character reveal is because they're a professional player at the game, you know, like they have something to like add to it, something that's actually like valid, something like credible, because like if you try hard enough you can just add anything to anything. You just have a comment to leave about any topic if you just try hard enough. Yeah, at some point we kind of just forgot that, like, you know, you gotta actually, like, earn respect to have people care about your opinion. Now it's just, did you hear what ridiculous take this person had who's popular, and, like, I don't know why they're still popular, but I'm just gonna keep talking about them, making them more popular. Yeah, no, I mean, like, are you talking about how the guy literally said, like, there needs to be a second 9/11? Yeah, that shit's fucking crazy. I mean, this is the slop that represents us. Like, that's, like, literally... People hear about Twitch and that's like what they hear about us, is like there's a dude who just says that shit. So when I go telling people like, yeah, I stream for a living, they ask about it, it's like, oh. So he actually is terrible at basketball, dang. He actually is just terrible. I mean, that guy as well. These people are all just annoying. People fucking hated on Ninja, but nobody could explain why. I'm just saying. Was Ninja really that bad? Yeah, I relate to that hard, honestly. Let's just go back to Ninja having rappers on his stream playing Fortnite. I don't know, that was a time when like I had friends who like they were discovering Twitch for the first time because of Ninja, and they're like, oh, like I know this guy, like my friend like has been streaming on Twitch, and like now I get it, like I know what he does for a living, you know. And now if you tell people, like, fucking you stream on Twitch, they think that you're, like, talking about, like, you know, I'm not even gonna say it. It's the stuff that, like, they fucking talk about on the politics streams. It's like sitting in front of a camera and with, like, some fucking bullshit plastic award you got from YouTube in the background, just, like, ranting about some shit. Yeah, we had way fewer things to worry about back then, that's for sure. Alright, can we just like try to fucking do this the right way, please? Yeah, isn't that crazy? These people have never accomplished anything worthy of merit, and they just scroll all day and make millions. That should upset you, like, you know, it's fucking wild. These people are literally just known for making our platform worse. and they're making millions of dollars and telling you what is morally correct and what to believe and think. Just imagine the fucking nerve. Literal slop, dude. Yeah, when things were starting to get going and the pandemic ruined it, yeah. I think that's a totally natural thing to feel. Is that, like, things were getting better and better and better. And then the COVID happened and everybody fucking lost their minds. Yeah. That's always a funny talking point. Yeah, man. Yeah, I can't understand, like, the fallacy that, like, because a smaller percentage of people have a larger percentage of the wealth, that people are overall worse off than they were 100 years ago. Like that, like, society is like problematic because there are few people that are way richer than everybody else. That's just the way it's gonna be, man. Like all you can do with that is just like take from people who earned, like redistribute, which isn't fair. Like, if the rich people are making the pie bigger, then the people at the bottom are still making more than they would if they were, you know, in some, like, poor country, you know. I mean, we're going to see the first trillionaire in our lifespan. Like, we're in our 20s, like, we're 20s and early 30s, mostly. We're gonna see the first trillionaire in our life, easily. Yeah, the problem isn't that, like, people are making more money, like, a few people are making more money. The problem is that the lowest wages aren't keeping up. That's the real problem. It's not a matter of, like... And then you have people who just, like, you know, watch slop like that, and they think that there's gonna be some kind of utopia where they don't have to work, which is, like, just, you're not, you need to grow up at that point. Take your fucking air-conditioned office job, which most people in the US have. Tubby, thanks for the 64 months. Thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, it's like the same thing with, like, why would you stream on Twitch if you get 95% of the revenue on Kick? Because, like, you're dealing with, like, a fucking cupcake versus a giant pie, you know? Yeah, I'd rather have 70% of the pie than 95% of the cupcake. The talk, I'm so tired of hearing the talking points. It's just like slop. It's fucking slop. Like we've already established. Slop. Even in some like I guess like it's a perfect society to people who are lazy, but like society where like nobody has to work and we're all just being served all day. There's gonna be one psychopath who just ruins the whole thing. That's just the nature of humanity. We're just gonna find other ways to create hierarchies and organize people into like baskets and shit. Like it's just natural that we do that. This is what we do as a species. Like this thing's better than that thing. How do we determine the value of this thing? Like we just do that. That's not taught. That's just nature. Oh yeah, last night, I wrapped up the new merch for the subathon. We're gonna have like hats and stuff. And there's gonna be a promotional poster as well. We're gonna put that out next couple of weeks maybe. Yeah. The only thing I'm worried about is like having Christmas merch like 5 days before Christmas. Like I feel like people already have like bought everything by then, but yeah, I'm not gonna worry too much about it. Like it'd be too late to sell somebody a Christmas themed item. I have no attention span today. What if we play movie tonight? I mean, sub count's pretty low, honestly. I'd be game for it. How much? Where are we at right now? 1350? $13.50 maybe. I think that's pretty good. Yeah. We can get that message pinned. I mean, we have till like midnight or like 1 a.m. It's like midnight because, you know, we don't want to start too late, but this is what happened. Like we woke up early today, so we have like another 3 hours, you know. Which means that people will actually be here for the runs. You know, You'll see the goal when I'm doing runs. I guess we haven't. The Trump voice sucks now, they ruined it. Like, Biden is still funny, but like, Trump is just like, he just like forces it out. Yeah, 13:50 by midnight, yeah. Good. We got a few done today. We got a couple of records that happened like 5 years ago, and the first time Sunny appeared on stream. Those are the 3 cards that we locked away today. We just got started on the Drake and Josh card for this year as well. We're starting to get into this year's cards. We're doing the Summit card from a couple of months ago. Yeah, I'm gonna try to show off one of this year's cards. We're also making some progress on the backs too. Like doing the custom designs for the backs of the cards. They're looking good as well. Yeah, it's really funny. Come on. speed. Oh god. Nah, cause I'm gonna ping when I do runs, so like, they'll see it. It's a 20 for 20. You'll probably get more interest in that when I actually do runs, though. Deep 6, thanks for the 5 gifted. Alright, maybe I'm just wrong.
Congratulations, you won.
Maybe I'm just wrong.
You won. Congratulations, you won. Congratulations, you won.
Ew. Do you really want to do elf again? Torture. said, thanks for the 63 months. Arctic, thanks for 72 months. Slippy, thanks for the resub. Unbelievable. The box for my Air Jordan Legos came, but there were no bricks in the box. Luckily, I kept the receipt and I returned it in exchange for the LeBron Legos set. And not to my surprise, there were thousands of bricks in the box. Thanks, LaFraud. You finally came in clutch.
Congratulations. You won.
Yo, Coupon, thanks for the gift to the Mickey Blames. Yeah. Yes, this is an annoying one.
Congratulations, you won.
Coolpon, thanks for the gift sub to LaFraud James. Yeah. About the usual. Maybe it's actually taking a little bit longer today than usual. I don't know.
Hey, kid.
Yeah, thanks. Nice, dude. Yeah. Hopefully we will be getting on early from now
Are
on.
you ready, kids? I can
Yeah.
Take a few days to get used to it again.
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? Absorbent and yellow and orange.
Thank you, Key, for the 16 months. Thanks, man. Just a bad sleep schedule. I mean, I'm still tired right now.
Here we are in
I forced myself to be up at this time. I've been venting out my room, letting the cold air in when I get off. Took me a second to get it.
The graveyard.
I use like a fan to like suck the cold air in through the window.
Hello to my little bubble friend.
Unfortunately, I can't do that during the day because if I do it during the day, then the sun's up. I can't sleep. I went to playing SpongeBob Town and everyone knew you. Oh. Okay, I get it, I get it. Playing SpongeBob. Yeah, so I was looking into that hot sauce thing and like the bowl boost into the hot sauce boost and rock bottom. If we can get that whole thing working, that's like 9 seconds, man. So much time. Because like you get to skip the underwear as well. Like, you don't have to get the 4th pair. There's a bowl boost to skip the bathroom boost and rock bottom. I was looking into it again. It saves a lot. It's like 6 seconds if you do the boost. Like another like 1.5 with this weird like displacement off the bottle. And then you save half a second for skipping the cycle for super bounce, like just doing the 3 underwear and like 3 health super bounce. And you save a second and a half for not getting the underwear, so that's like a total of like 8 to 9.5 seconds. It's actually a lot if you do like everything all together. Like the full package. Saves like almost 10. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have to start picking really stupid strats coming soon. Just goes to show how hard this game is, man. It's the hardest speedrun. It has to fucking... Like, what the fuck else at this point? Like, honestly. Like, what the fuck else can there even be at this point? Like, every single year, like, there's no other game this old that's changing this much and getting this much harder every single year. I can't think of a single one, dude. It literally never fucking ends. Only up. it just never fucking ends, man. Yeah, Sausage is doing some good work over there, but yeah, unbuffered frame perfects in 20 FPS is not the same as unbuffered frame perfects in 60 FPS, that's for sure. But it's still respectable, like, that he's trying to push the game and like add all those strats, yeah. But yeah, I don't think any fucking game compares to this one at this point. This is just fucking stupid where we're at with this game now. Yo, what's up? Thanks, man. You don't think that frame perfects in 60 FPS don't make it blatant? When you're doing non-stop movement the whole time, there are strats that involve RNG and like adjusting your route to the RNG and like setups adjusting to RNG and in-game lag. Like, this game literally has everything. I don't agree with that every single run is equally impressive. Like, all runs are impressive, but like we're asking the question, like, is there realistically a game that is harder than this one to speedrun at this point, at the peak level of skill? That's what we're really asking here. And it's hard to say that there is. Just like on paper. There's no other game that tests like tricks this precise, movement this fast paced, like while also incorporating like strategy and having to deal with like run killing RNG. Yeah, there's like literally nothing. I can't think of a single game that even compares to that.
The graveyard.
You wanna know why the game's less popular to speedrun? That's the real reason. It's not because of any like drama or anything like that. That's the real reason. I didn't say the word better. I'm saying that there's like definitively like harder games than others. There are games like Metroid Prime that are known for being extremely difficult. You know, this game is known for being extremely difficult. You know, there are certain games that are known for being some of the harder games. And I've speedrun like maybe like 6 or 7 games at this point. Even within my own list of games that I've speedrun, there are clearly some that even at like a lower level are easier or more difficult depending on, you know, what you're doing with it. Like the Patrick Star game was actually like a reasonably somewhat challenging run, but the fucking Cosmic Shake is just like, that game is so fucking piss easy. That's like one of the easiest speedruns I've ever done in my whole life. There's like only one hard strat, and it's not even like, I don't even think that most runners even like do it. Thanks Gold Dust for the tier 3. Welcome back. There are games that are known for being difficult, so I don't think that saying like every game is hard is necessarily like a fair, like, it's just like circumventing the conversation. Like, obviously we're gonna be having these conversations at some point. I just can't think of a single game that has like gone through the fucking bullshit this game's gone through over the past 10 years. Like every single year, it's just like the game is just like more frame perfects, more angle perfects. Like, what else can we possibly do at this point? I don't know where we're gonna go after sub 40, like how much of a drive there's gonna be to really like solve the game further, and I hope that it keeps going, but yeah, it's fair to say that there are some games that are just harder. to speedrun, even at like a lower level. And the highest level as well. I just think that just in virtue of like the fact that I've been playing this game for like almost 9 years, I've invested like 20,000 hours and like I'm still... First off, like some of these things I've been doing for like half a decade and like they still work like 10% of the time. And then on top of that, you also have the fact that I'm still like, my movement's still improving. So it's not just a game where you just do trick after trick, like there's movement involved. And a lot of it's like really fucking fast paced, like this stuff that I'm practicing here. So you have the infinite skill ceiling with the movement. Paired with the fact that you literally won't get your run. You literally just reset over and over again if you miss any 1 frames in 60 FPS. Like you can't just like continue if you mess them up. You can't just like skip it, you know? Like you have to do it, and if you don't get it, you just reset. And that's that. Like in the past, there were some where like you mess it up, you lose like 10 seconds, or excuse me. You mess it up, you lose like 2 seconds, or you mess it up and you can just continue without doing it. You literally just reset if you miss any of them at this point. You can maybe afford to miss like 1 for now. In the first like 10 minutes even, and then after that, all the ones after that, the mid-game ones you can afford to miss sometimes, but like all the UCBs at the end, like you're losing like 12 seconds if you miss one of them. You're losing like 12 seconds if you miss one of these things. Makes it like almost impossible to actually PB. It doesn't really matter like how well you're doing. It's the reason why it takes forever to get any runs in this game. Like I try explaining this to people getting excited about paces and stuff. It literally means nothing. You'll be watching a run of this game and 30 seconds later it's over. Literally anything just fucking kills it. You miss something by 1 frame, it's over. And like even without that, like the skill ceiling for the movement in this game is already infinite without that. But like with that just makes it just fucking awful. It's like how Sunshine has the fucking RNG in it that stops you from getting runs. Just makes it harder to run. But instead of RNG, like, RNG is a factor, but it's not killing your runs. It's just making it so you literally can't perfect the game. Like, getting a perfect run in this game is just completely unrealistic at this point, because there are just way too many variables to consider. Just the random money counts that you get as well, just with SBA, just affecting the entire route that you do after that. Like, RNG is effectively just making it so you never get a perfect run. There's always room to improve. So that's just settled. Like, there's just an infinite skill ceiling just based on that alone. And then on top of that, you have the movement, which is not masterable. And then you have the fucking 1 frames, which you just reset to them like 99% of the time. You just never get runs. And then when you do get a run, it's like, how are you going to play when you finally do? And then, are you going to choke the 1 frames at the end of the game? Yeah, it just doesn't end. Yeah, I can't think of a single I can't think of another game like that where like the movement the entire time is just non-stop breakneck with all these different types of frame perfect tricks that you don't get one of them and you just reset to it. It's the only one I can think of that's like that.
The graveyard.
And also, like, most games that are popular are, like, probably, like, 40 to 50% gameplay. This game's gotta be at least, like, 70% gameplay. I think that 70%'s, like, pretty fair. A fair estimate for how much of the game you're actually playing. 70%'s actually very high for an older game like this. Most games aren't, like, at that point where, like, it's, like, 70% gameplay. So... It's 40 straight minutes of just non-stop doing run killers the whole time. every single level is difficult. Every single level has something you can reset to in it. Most times, multiple things per sub split. You can end up resetting to. And we're not talking like choking or just like you just get punished really hard for dying, because like every game has that. Like we're talking like you're 1/60th of a second off, and that's just not good enough when your run's over. You can spend weeks getting there and it's still not good enough. This game just doesn't fucking care. Like, I've seen the quote that, like, messing up a 2-frame trick at 30 FPS is like, you know, you fucking suck, you need to get better. And messing up a 1 frame is like, oh, okay, that's fine. You know, just a 1-frame trick, right? That's just for 30 FPS games. People feel that way about 30 FPS games. I just don't... I feel like most people can't relate to, like, outside of, like, fighting games, where it's like, if you don't hit that 1/60th, you literally can't continue. Like, you lose the whole game. And you can't just retry it either, because it loses, like, 15 seconds a lot of the time. So... like, back in the day, you would, like, do, like, tower suck. And you, like, try it, like, 2 or 3 times if you mess it up 1 time, but... it's weird how, like, 1.5 years ago, it was, like, considered shitty that, like, missing this, you have to reload the whole level and you lose, like, 12, 15 seconds, but... that's just so normal now. Like, everything in the game is just like that now. That was just even more unforgiving than it already was. And we're also talking about, like, these are not the same as, like bee hopping, for example, or anything where, like, you can, like, line up and, like, see the frame. Because, like, just because something is frame perfect doesn't mean that it's difficult, obviously. Like, a lot of these tricks, you're reacting to different animations and picking out the exact frame. Like, there's no, like he walks up to, like a specific spot on the ground or, like, a specific, like, setup, and you can see, like, the frames leading up to it a lot of the time. And most of the time, you're just reacting to shit. A lot of the time you're just reacting to shit. Like bee hopping, you can see like he's about to touch the ground, like you can get used to the timing for it. There's a rhythm for it and so forth, but and like with the downtown stuff, like you're victim to RNG for both of those, where you're going to have like the tiki cycles random and the cannon cycle's random, and then the animation that you get is going to be different every time. And of course there's the console lag as well. You have like 3 factors that just like you just can't like fully muscle memory that stuff. You just have to be able to like really like lock in and pick the frame. There's no getting around that. At least Dream is a little bit easier because you don't have to deal with the RNG, like the block moves on the same cycle every time. But it's still the same deal with the animations that you have to fucking lock in on. I can't think of another game like that. And we're already talking about, you know, even more ridiculous shit that has to be added to the run to try and save those seconds. Where, like, now the expectation is, like, okay, well, like, of course you're gonna get the 1 frame, because, like, how could you fucking miss a 1 frame? If you miss a 60 FPS 1 frame, you're just terrible at the game. Now, on top of that, you have the inconsistent fucking physics of the game, where you're not always gonna get the right movement. And also the angles that you're moving at, like on the control stick while you're like guiding off of the 1 frame that you do. That's just the next layer deeper of this bullshit. It's like those things are gonna be just like, by the end of next year we're probably gonna be doing like at least 2 of them in this run. The glideless and the bathroom boost skip. That's the next direction the game is going in now, where it's like, okay, you've mastered 60 FPS 1 frames. You've mastered all the angles, you've mastered all the movement. Now you just gotta hope that the game just allows you to even get the right grounded speed to even like hit these tricks. Like now it's not even entirely up to you. Just adding another dimension of bullshit into the game. Because there's nothing else. Like there's nothing else that we can do to save time. And the fact that it does save time, it's gonna get done eventually if somebody's crazy enough to be willing to do it anyway, so. Might as well do it now. When the time is right. The longer we can put it off, the better. Yeah, most games just stagnate after a while. If a hard trick gets added that people don't want to do, or like, you know, the game just takes too much effort to practice.
Hello to my little bubble friend.
Yeah, this game has just been a non-stop shit show. There was one year where things got easier. 2019 was the only year in the game's history where the game actually got easier for a year, because the strats that were found just made the game like more consistent and got rid of some other strats that were like way harder to do. That's the only year the game ever got easier. After that, it's just been more and more difficult stuff and a lot less of it. I don't see that changing anytime soon. Like, I doubt there's going to be a year in this game's history from this point on where there's easier things being found to make the game more consistent. It's just a fucking dumb game. I mean, we already kind of experienced the bullshit with, like, the momentum inconsistencies with this stuff here. Like, the speed that you get is determined by, like, what fucking like decimal coordinate you're standing at when you get pushed out, and which direction you get pushed out. Like that alone is already enough to make somebody not want to run the game. It's the fact that like the random speeds you get and then the different routes you take when you get the random speeds. That's the kind of shit that makes somebody say they want to sit back and watch and not actually bother with speedrunning it. I mean, it's not only almost impossible to optimize it, it's also just like almost impossible to even get a run in the beginning in the first place because of all the things I mentioned earlier. See, I don't know, like, at what point is it gonna be too much? At what point is it, like, it's just so fucking impossible to get a run that it's, like, not even, like, playable anymore? Because I don't think we're at that point yet. I don't think we're close to that point. There are some days where it feels like that, but it's definitely not every day. There are days where I'm consistently hitting the 1-frame jumps and things are going fine. But there are also days where I'm just not able to do them at all. And I just want to die. Like there's just no like, you're just stuck resetting in the first 3 minutes of the game all day. Yeah, if it's true that all speedrunning is impressive, but if we're gonna have a discussion about which games are the most technically demanding and which ones are the hardest to optimize, like, you know, we should be able to have that discussion without having to, like, be afraid of offending people, because just because your game is hard doesn't mean that it's good either. It doesn't mean that the game is better than anything. Just because it's harder. That's a whole different discussion. But I think it's fair to say that there are some games that have gotten very difficult compared to others. Compare their developmental paths. No, this game could have just stayed cruise boosting and sponge gliding forever, and I probably wouldn't still be saying that. But it's just the fact that the past 5 years have just been so brutal on the game. Like, it's obvious, I think, to anybody who follows the community that this game is one of the most difficult, if not the most difficult speedrun of all time. And anybody who's still using leaderboards to judge how hard a game is just lazy at this point. Like I mentioned earlier, like games like Prime where like the best players have been playing for like over a decade. And like these games are known for having ridiculously precise strats and like very counterintuitive movement. You don't really get that by just going on speedrun.com and sorting by most popular. Because the most popular games are going to be the easiest to run, because nobody likes to run hard games. Like, nobody's out here saying that Minecraft is the hardest speedrun just because it's popular, so like, where's that double standard? I never understood that. There are some games that we don't even know are as difficult as we are because nobody plays them. Doesn't really change how the game is either. Yeah, you can get a feel for how tough things are when you actually like look into how they're played. I still think that this game, Sunshine, and Prime are like the 3 hardest I've ever seen. I mean, like, it's hard to explain. Like, just how fucked up Sunshine is as a game. I mean, like, the different scenarios you have to be prepared for. Just because the game is gonna fuck you over. Like, the literal base mechanics will fuck you over because of RNG. Just how inconsistent the game is. Yeah, I mean, like, go figure, like, I've heard from like a good couple of people who are top level in both games at one point. Both agree that Sunshine is the harder game compared to 64, for example. And I believe it personally. 64 seems like relatively consistent compared to most of the other. Like maybe Odyssey is more consistent than 64. I don't really know. You can probably make an argument that getting world record in this game is the hardest world record to get in speedrunning. I think you can make that argument just as fine as any other game that's been developed for over a decade and has players who have over a decade of experience and tens of thousands of hours invested. I think that's a perfectly fair argument, but we're getting to the point where it's almost impossible to tell. Like, you wouldn't have 2 players who have like 20,000 hours in the same game. That's the only way you would really know for sure. But the skill ceiling on this game is higher than anything I've ever seen for any other game. And I guess like part of that is also like, maybe there are things that other game communities aren't willing to do in their runs that they just write off as tasks only that they could potentially be doing. But they're just not doing it because the community doesn't do those strats, you know? Like, it's tough to say for sure, but like all you can really go off of is like the knowledge the community has. Their habits as far as like what strats are they doing, like are they willing to do these strategies? Do they practice the strategies and improve at them? You know, does the community take the run seriously? Because like what difference does it make if there are 2,000 people below you on the leaderboard versus 1,000 or 100? If like those few people at the top have literally been playing for forever and they practice the game every single day. Like, you can't have the opinion that like because of the game they choose inherently makes them a better or worse speedrunner. I think that there are a handful of games that you can argue are the hardest record to get in speedrunning. I think that's perfectly fair game. Yeah, Prime's momentum is just like, it just looks so unintuitive, like with the scan jumping and shit. But I know that a lot of this is just knowledge, but like the aura jumping or whatever, like out of bounds, where you're like climbing on invisible geometry. We have a little bit of that in this game, but like it's not like that game. The out of bounds in that game is fucking crazy. Like the whole fucking game is out of bounds. If we're gonna just go by process of elimination, like it's gotta be something that's 3D. Just working with XYZ is just like infinitely more difficult than working with 2 dimensions. Period. So if there's going to be a game that's a contender for the hardest, it's gonna have to be something that's 3D. I think that's a perfectly logical deduction to make. Because there are games, 2D and 3D, that both have frame perfects and so forth in terms of precision and movement, but your movement's ultimately going to require much greater precision in a 3D environment than a 2D environment. And of course, like the 1 frames, like plus the console lag is a pretty signature thing that most games deal with in 3D. Like 64 is a game where like if you're watching a scrub play it, it literally looks like a different game because it's so laggy and they don't know how to manage the camera properly. There's stuff like that just like completely unnoticed in like games like this and like Luigi's Mansion that like they're not like fully optimized. They're running on like fucking like megabytes of RAM. Like you got to be able to manage that. That's another thing too. It's got to be something 3D. The movement has to have an infinite skill ceiling, and the tricks have to be objectively more precise than the other games they're being compared to. That's like the 3 ways you can measure it, and then from there you get narrowed down to like a handful of games that are like even like popular to speedrun. But again, like you can say like there are probably games out there that are extremely difficult that we don't know it yet because nobody tries in them, nobody plays them. This could have very well just been a game that people were just afraid to do things like these things I'm practicing here. You know, like at the end of the day, like who knew? You know, this is a game that just seems random that nobody would speedrun. That like it just turns out to be as stupid as it is. I'm sure there are other games like this as well, but we just don't know about them yet. Do you think it's agreeable that there are just like some people who don't have like the proper reaction time and muscle memory, like the ability to like pick out frames to perform 60 FPS 1 frames consistently, relatively consistently on a good day? Like it's for sure something that you can do. Like you see it in fighting games, like people compete on stages in major tournaments and like they're able to do these things. It's not just like speedrunning and like throwing darts until one lands. Like there are definitely people who can do that shit, you know? It's like, is it fair to say that like some people can and some people can't? I mean, you could say that about like 30 FPS too. Like some people just can't do 30 FPS 1 frames unbuffered. Just can't do it. Like, there are some games that no matter how much you play them, there are some people who just will wall off on certain strats. And it's not a matter of just getting better at the movement, which, like, most of the time, as long as you're just, like, critical of yourself, you'll be able to improve. I think there are some games where, like, there are some strats you just literally just cannot improve after a certain point. If you're a certain person, like, you have to be, like, a certain kind of person to be able to, like, do certain things after a certain point. But there are, like, literal differences in reaction time. A buffered 1 frame. In some games, you're able to use like tools like pausing and unpausing to like select frames. Like you don't have to, like in this game, you literally have to hit it the exact frame. There are some games you can like pause a few frames before. Rehydrated actually has that. There are frame perfects in Rehydrated. They pause buffer. They pause like a few frames before the actual frame, and they just like buffer it until they get to the right frame. Makes them consistent. I'm not sure about that, man. Like, coming from somebody in a 60 FPS speedrun community, I've witnessed people who have practiced these 1 frame tricks for years and they still can't get them. And there are still days when I wake up and I can't get them either. I'm not sure what should be proposed to like test that theory, but I think that there are some games that'll just weed people out because they literally just can't get to the point where they can learn that shit. There has to be a limit at some point, right? Because like I've observed for years, like people spend like a long time trying to implement these kinds of strats, and they just give up on them after a while. They just go back to doing what they were doing before because they just can't do it. And like I understand that fully, I get it. There are definitely games out there that are like that, where like you see people like try new strategies and do them in runs, but eventually give up on them and go back, but there aren't a lot of them. I think that typically you just see people like eventually they learn and then they master it, but that's been a consistent thing I've seen in this game for many years. Like, investing a lot of time into a strategy and it just goes nowhere for some people.
Are you ready, kids? I can't hear.
Yeah, like where's the limit? Like, is it? Do you, like if it's a 20 FPS game, that's a 3-frame window for this game, which is like most people in this game hit oil skip every time they do it. That's like that's a 3-frame window basically. It's like 3 to 4 frames depending on the slide that you get. You know? The animations differ in this game, makes it harder though. Yeah, there are different animations you have to know the timing for, yeah. And it's going to affect, like the in-game lag is going to affect that as well. I think that there are some people that if you gave them, again, like monkey typewriter theory, like, I guess the monkey typewriter theory is like just like not even a real theory, but like, do you think that like a bunch of monkeys in a room, like given enough time, would eventually write Shakespeare? I mean, like the answer is like, true, maybe if given enough time they'll put together like the right sequence of words and shit to do it, but like feasibly, for some people it would take more time than they realistically have to speedrun. Like if somebody like sat for 1,000 years and did it, and they didn't like experience like decay and like aging and shit like that, like maybe. But reaction time is a very real thing, and not everybody has it. Like not everybody is able to like work at that level of precision. And people will tell you themselves like they struggle with unbuffered 30. And it's a lot different, by the way, when like it's not just like you literally reset if you don't get them. It's not like it's like bonus movement or like makes you go a little bit faster. Like you literally just reset if you don't get it first try. And that's again like the thing that I'm practicing here. Like you miss this one time, 17 seconds. It's like 35 minutes into the run. And then there's just like it's sandwiched between like 2 other ones as well. This is one of those things that I try not to over practice it, because when I over practice it I do worse with it. That's like another weird thing about this fucking game is like when I finally have a feel for some of this stuff I just lay it off, because sometimes like it's like legitimately like if I over practice that trick I just don't get it for like 3 weeks. I don't know how to solve that. I've fucking tried for 7 straight years to figure out a solution to that, but I just can't figure it out. It's just a fucking horrible trick. I mean, like the visual cue is just so fucking terrible for it. A lot of this stuff, like frame perfect tricks, a lot of the time, like they have setups, they have like clear visuals. You can take your time with them. This is all just, you know, like you're in midair falling, or you're like about to like slide off of a ledge, and like you have to hit it on the exact frame. It's like in action, you know. Like stuff like honey skip, like there's a setup for it, so you touch the trigger on the right frame. But you don't just like raw dog it, you know. That's this whole fucking game is just raw dogging one frame, is like just back to back to back. You just gotta do it. Just have a feel for it. If I don't play the game for a day, I come back and I can't even fucking get a single run.
Let's see if SpongeBob goes for it.
I mean, I don't even think it's a good thing for the game that it's like that. But it does make it fucking interesting, that's for sure. Like, you can't deny that it's an interesting run, major, like, in part because of the way that is. Where it just takes a miracle to get anything going. You gotta admit that makes it more interesting. So, like, I don't know. I'd rather be annoyed than bored. 50% is really fucking low.
There's the robot vulnerability. Let's see if SpongeBob goes for it.
But yeah, I disagree. Just based on virtue of like,
Will SpongeBob be
first off, even like cruise boosting itself, like the fucking number of times I've in this community, like you have to trust my word on this because I've been here forever. I'd say that like 4 out of 5 people who speedrun the game, who try to speedrun this game, get stuck on cruise boosting and they just can't finish learning. And we have like input viewers, we have like fully fleshed out guides. And cruise boosting isn't frame perfect in the sense that like the game is telling you which frame to do it on. That's just pressing 2 things on the same frame, like pressing a trigger and a button on the same frame and like being able to like discern like what angle you're moving at. No, I don't practice off stream. Only when I'm traveling and I can't stream. Like 4 out of 5 people quit the game because they can't get that down. And that's a large sample size considering, you know, tutorial for this game has like 300,000 views. Like it's one of the most popular games that's been speedrun of all time. Especially in the early 2010s, it was extremely popular to play, but still the vast majority of people who got into it just simply by having to do a frame perfect trick when they first learned the game. They literally just couldn't do it. And I'm sure that like with enough practice they could get that specific thing down, but in the sample of people who have actually ran the game, like 900 to 1,000 people who have actually taken the game seriously enough to submit a run, which by the way, this isn't the kind of run where you just like walk it in and submit your finished run. Like, this is a game that takes a lot of effort to even be able to finish one run. But I think it's fair to say that anybody who submitted a run to the leaderboards, it's not even counting people who have actually ran the game, have at least taken it somewhat seriously enough to actually go through with doing that. Like I said, like a lot of these people, they try to implement these strats, and after a while they don't get runs with it and they just stop. That's really the biggest killer of what gets people to stop playing this game, is like they reach the point where they have to implement strats like that, and they try to, and then they just realize it's like it takes way too fucking long. It takes too much maintenance to actually stay good at it, because there's the whole dimension of like, are you good enough to even do it in the first place? And then if you are, like, that's still not even good enough, because you have to be able to practice it and keep it warm enough to be able to do it. Like, you can be, like, naturally good at these things, but, like, there's no amount of naturally good that's going to make it happen every single time like you need it to in a run. Even like cruise boosting, like normal cruise boosting all the way up to UCBs and like DCBs even, where like you just have to know like what frame the ball is gonna push you on. Like shit like that is just like, the skill ceiling in this game is just, this is not the kind of game where you will ever see all the same runners doing the same strats. And I think when you look at like the most popular games, like even like competitively, and like all the runners are doing the same strats in the top 10, I don't think that any speedrun is big enough to the point where like that's a feasible thing unless the game is consistent enough for that to happen. Like the game strats are consistent and like don't require enough precision to like make any kind of separation there, like distinction in skill. Like the skill gap is kind of a trademark of these games that are like that. If you look at all the top players and like the only difference is like the mistakes they make and not the strats they're doing, I think that's the sign the game is a lot more consistent than other games. Oh yeah, that game is crazy, yeah. It's like GoldenEye, like the levels are just so specific with the movement that you have to just like do ILs basically. Well, you don't have to, obviously, yeah. But I've always been a fan of like the single star runs for 64. And I guess like what Suiji's doing with the game now, where he's like really trying to optimize it and do more single star strats and runs, like that makes it more interesting, but I think that game still has a long way to go as far as like realizing the skill ceiling for the longer runs. Because up until this year, like last year with Carpetless, like those runs were pretty fucking consistent. Like they just kind of do the same consistent strats for like an hour and 30, hour 40, I mean. They weren't going in for anything like super risky until Carpetless was found.
Yeah.
So I think that game still has a long way to go. Thanks for the 5 months, Tom. The only thing is though that like, with a game like that, it's gonna reach the point where nobody wants to watch the resets anymore. And the kind of dedication it's gonna take to actually continue improving is not conducive to running the stream unless everybody else around you is like propping you up and making content to support you. Which you kind of have going on in 64 to an extent, where like people like Simply and Liam and so forth are making videos that like bring more people to see Suiji running the game. But that's only gonna last for so long, you know. Because like what happens when like the records start drying up and there's not enough content to make on the game? Like what happens then, you know? Every game's gonna reach that point where like these retro games especially, like, you're only gonna have like people of like 15 plus years experience who have just dedicated the majority of their lives to mastering these games. And it's not gonna be a matter of like which games are the most active. It's going to be a matter of which games are still speedrun, because there are gonna be games that just are gonna stop improving because nobody can put in the time to improve them. I think Sunshine's gonna hit that point real soon, man. Like over the next few years, like that is a game that could probably die the way that it's currently headed, especially with like Ace. Yeah, it just makes it more demotivating for people to actually like learn the run. If any percent's Ace and like non-Ace any percent's like no longer like really any percent, makes things convoluted. I think that's part of the reason why like OOT experienced a downtick is because of Ace and SRM. Same with Majora's Mask initially though, but I know they're doing better these days, but yeah. It's often what happens is like hard shit gets found. Hard things that make the game less fun to play. And then people just stop playing. At least with this game, you don't have to do these stupid one frames until you really need to save the seconds. Like Fast Nut, when that was found, it's like it took like maybe like 6 or 7 years for somebody else to even start doing it other than me. And you had people who like did it and like took it out of their run. They did it for a little bit and took it out. But I don't know. At least with this game you have the freedom to do that. Because like a strat like that is saving 6 seconds. You know, nothing that's gonna like make you unable to play the game if you just don't do it. The really cancerous games to learn are the ones that have like the fucking frame perfect 60 FPS 1 frames, where if you don't do it you lose like 2 minutes. Those are fucking cancerous. Because then like nobody can even get into it. Like you need to have like room to actually learn the game and enjoy it before you start adding stuff like that. But if it's taken like fucking, you know, like if it's taking over a minute off your run, and all it is like pausing on like 1 frame, that's like the Revenge of the Flying Dutchman. That's that game speedrun in a nutshell. It's like you pause the frame that like a cutscene starts, save and quit. If you don't get it, you just lose like 2 minutes. But like you get the same skill check in a game like this where like if you're a good enough player and you lose 17 seconds, your run's dead no matter what. And on top of that, it's like, would you rather have that in a game? I'm trying to say this the right way. Like if the new player misses a frame perfect that loses 2 minutes, their run's over. If the experienced player that misses the frame perfect loses 6 seconds and their run's over. Like clearly you want to have like a skill gradient where after a certain point like you eventually add these strats when 6, 10, 15 seconds matters that much to you. And like otherwise not doing it is a risk because you're losing too much time not doing it. Versus the game where you're forced to do it straight from the bat. And you never actually like, you can't like get people to like even try the game. Well, there is no consistent Fast Nut, it's frame perfect. Like I'm flattered that you think that looks consistent, but it's not consistent at all. It's still just like hitting the frame on muscle memory. And like there are many days where like you get past all the fucking hard shit and then you just miss that by 1 frame and your run's over. No, there's no consistent way of doing it. It's literally just a fucking 1 frame. That's the whole game, man. Like it sounds ridiculous and it sounds like I'm like gassing the game and like I have like a lack of perspective and I don't watch and play other games, but I do. I've been around plenty of games over the years. I've speedran plenty of games. There's nothing like this fucking game, man. There's literally nothing else like it. You fucking miss a 1 frame, like 35 minutes into a run, you're losing 12, 17, 15 seconds. And you gotta actually do the movement, which, like, if you mess up the movement, you lose, like, fucking 2 minutes. It's just fucked, man. It's like, you can't make any mistakes, and then on top of that, the mistakes that you, like, that you're being expected to not make are just, like, even when you get them, you're, like, close to not getting them. You're 1/60th, you're always 1/60th of a second away from the edge. Every single time. I mean, like, the closest thing we have to a consistent segment in this game is, like, Murmelair in late game, which is, like, Ballroom is still frame perfect. Even though, you know, you lose, like, 2 seconds for missing it, so it's not a big deal. But, like, it's one of the few that are still like that. Yeah, and that's just the next level of it, where, like, with swingerless in a 100% speed run, is like, you're not only expected to hit it on the exact frame and be at the exact angle within like 1.8 degrees or like 1.9 degrees against the wall, without any setup at all. So you got to be at the exact angle and on the exact frame. You have to know, like, based on the way the ball is moving, like, intuitively, like, what frame you're getting pushed by that ball. And even if you actually manage to get the right frame and the right, like, 1.8, 1.9 angle range, like, you still have to, like you can like zero frame it, where, like, there are 0 frames where the ball pushes you at enough speed to actually cross those gaps. It's like sometimes you get the actual trick and then you just don't get enough speed. So that's like getting into, like, the next layer of bullshit. And, like, thankfully there's none of that that's currently used in any percent so far. Like, it sounds funny, like, when like, any percent is a consistent category for this game by these standards. No, I don't think you should play this game. It's not fun. It's not a fun game. It's not fun when you're this good at it. It's fun when you're new, though. It's really fun when you're new. I don't think you should take this game seriously for half a decade to get to the point where it becomes like this, no. But if you run it for like a few years, it's pretty fun. Just do normal strats, I don't know. I don't know how long you'd have to play to reach this point, because there are people who've been speedrunning this game for 6, 7+ years and they're still not at this point where they're doing stuff like this, so... yeah, I don't know. Everybody's different. That's why I say, like, some people just won't ever reach that point. Some people just won't reach that point. Gotta get out of the mindset of, like, how many people are you above on the leaderboard, because, like, I recently watched a video on competitive darts. I think that really puts into perspective, like there are, like, dynasties for these sports that are hardly ever talked about, where these people were, like, raised from the womb to be a master at throwing darts at a board. And it's like, you don't hear about these things because it's not baseball or football. But it's still fucking insane. So, like, the same should apply, I mean, especially to speedrunning, where, like, none of this shit's competitive yet. There's no speedrun in the entire world that's as competitive as an Olympic level sport. Not even fucking close. So, like, why are people in this mindset that, like, a game with 1,000 runners can't have a more difficult world record to get than a game with 10,000 runners? It's ridiculous. Like, all these communities spend fucking years optimizing these games all the same. It's a matter of, like, how good the best players are, and how seriously they take the game, and how competent they are at improving. And, you know, I think that there are plenty of games with small communities that have demonstrated over time. Like, I fucking, like, where was Metroid Prime? Like, in 2012, it was like a 105, and it's down to, like, almost, like, where this game is now. Like a 43 now. It's ridiculous, man. Like, these games just have fucking infinite skill ceilings, and they just never stop playing them. Compare that to, like, 70 star, like, that game's been walled off fucking forever. 120 star is fucking crazy, though. That game has that category has a lot of potential, but, like, you know, 70 is like a low skill ceiling for that game standards. It's like 120 star when it starts to get all the single star strats into it. gonna be fucking insane.
Did you? Did you?
But yeah, no, this game is not fun at this level of play. Absolutely not. But is this the default experience for people? No, not even close.
Let me.
What is it with the game though? Like, why? I mean, I guess it's like an open world, like Metroidvania game, so it's always gonna have like room for improvement. But like, how the fuck do you guys keep making that game faster? Like, I feel like people really just don't understand like how cracked out that game is. That like all these small it's the same as this game. Like, it's all these small improvements over the course of so many years, and like the best players are still getting better. And there's like not even like a lot of tech being found. It's just like using existing tech to make the movement faster. And picking better objectives and like better ways of getting the objectives is just like, we don't need new tech. We haven't found any like actual new tech since like 2021. Yeah, but they're strats that are based on like existing tech though. And like people just getting better at the game. So like now like new movement and like new scan jumps are possible, right? It's just people getting like way better control over the engine. Yo, what the fuck? Gold Dust, thank you for the 20 gifted. Whatever that person just said, I totally missed it. Please send it again. Feel free to send your last message if I didn't read it. Like, I thank you Grandshine for the 20 gifted. What I'm saying is like, there are games that like 70 stars been at a wall fucking forever. You know, like Prime, the last time I checked in on that game it was like 5 minutes slower. And it just keeps getting faster. And now you're saying that like 39 is gonna happen at some point? It's fucking insane, dude. Like I wish I could actually see T3 play because he doesn't stream. But like, how many hours do you think he's invested in that fucking game, dude? Minimum 10,000. Minimum 10,000. I don't know about 20,000, but like, I think that like 10 is easy to assume like minimum 10, 15,000 into that game. Minimum. Like 12 years. I have no idea like how often he plays or like how often he practices, but like, yeah, I imagine it's a lot for sure. I would love to know how much he's actually played that game. This is what I mean though, is like, if you want to actually appreciate speedrunning, there's so many games like that we just like don't even know about, or that people are just too humble, or they just haven't like taken it like fully seriously yet. One or the other, or both.
Congratulations, you won.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Congratulations, you won.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Congratulations, you won.
Yo, James, thanks for the gift, man.
Congratulations, you won.
Are you talking about this game? Well, yeah, theoretically 39 is doable on with the strats I'm using in runs, sure, but like, it's the same thing we're talking about, like how long would it take like the average person to learn a frame perfect trick and be able to do it in runs consistently and consistently get paces with it and not like burn out or like rust the later part of the game. That's what I mean by like being good enough at one frames to do them, not just like doing them. Like being good enough to be able to hit 5 of them in a row. It's literally gotta be like breathing for you. That's what I'm saying, like some people just don't have it in them to be able to do that. Like it would take longer than the lifespan that you have playing the game to be able to do that shit. That's what I'm trying to say. It would take longer than my lifespan that I have left playing this game to get a 39 with these strats, maybe. Actually, I don't know about that. I don't think that's true. I think that it would at least take like a few years, like way longer than, you know, you'd imagine it would take, I guess, but 38 though, I think 38, like you would never get a 38 with these strats, even if it's like, according to some of best, it's theoretically possible. It would take a lifetime to even like You know what I mean? Like 39 would happen someday with these strats, but yeah. Thank you, Gold Dust.
Congratulations, you won. Congratulations, you won.
Yeah, Prime is a weird one, man. Like, on the surface, you wouldn't think the game like has that much left to it. Like, you guys are always finding strats and always like figuring out new movement.
Congratulations, you won. Congratulations.
Yeah,
you
respect, because like I literally like this game has been the same way, like non-stop shit for the last fucking 10 years, non-stop shit. Always changing. Thank you, Gold Dust, for the gift.
won.
I want to get sub 40-30 before the summer.
Congratulations.
Like I have time-bound goals, so I don't fucking take too long. And
Congratulations,
you
won.
know, people probably like criticize the fact that I like have these like
Congratulations, you won.
you'd almost call them arbitrary time constraints to do these things, but like that's the only way to fucking get things done is by like having some kind of stake in it, you know? Like you have to like say like I want to get this run before this period of time, or you're just not gonna get it, or you just take fucking forever. And like all those months that you don't get it, like you only have a certain number of months to play in your career. Like there's gonna be a day where you can't play anymore. And if you're looking back and thinking like, oh man, like if I just spent that year taking the game more seriously, I wonder how much better I could. Like I don't want to be thinking that. I don't want to be fucking thinking that unless it's like, yeah, I spent that year doing something important. But I don't know. I just can't like fucking imagine like wasting the time that I have left to be able to play by just like passively doing runs and not trying to pace, you know what I mean? Like, sure, we all speedrun for fun to an extent, but like, the fun is in the improvement. Like, not just like moving the sticks around, you know? Just gotta be based about it. Just admit what we're here to do. If you think that I speedrun this game for hate, you are definitely reading too far into like my reactiveness to like when bad things happen. Like how I feel in the moment when things happen. Yeah, thanks, Simple. You're definitely like focusing too hard on like the reaction that comes from not meeting the standards that I have set for myself that are required to maintain this level of play. Well, that's what I'm saying, SpongeHog, is like every single game is going to get to the point. I don't care what game it is, because all these games are just getting older by the day, and eventually they're all just going to be objectively old and no one's going to play them except for like a few people who have literally dedicated their lives to perfecting them. And it's not going to be a matter of which games have the most players or which games are the most popular. The reality is, in the 2030s, it's probably going to be like, none of these games are going to be popular to speedrun, but there are going to be maybe one or two people who are like beyond like god level at these games and just continue to speedrun them, and that's what you get. Like I think that speedrunning is slowly going to go back into the direction of like the original days where it was just like OOT, SM64, Wind Waker, but it's going to be like a bunch of different games, like not necessarily the same ones, but just like goes back to the original state of just everybody watches the same games because like there are just games that are just like leagues above the others in terms of optimization. There just aren't that many options anymore as far as the retro games go. There are always going to be new games to speedrun, and people are always going to be speedrunning newer games, but I think like the games like this one that are 20 plus years old, like eventually there are gonna be runs for these games that like they just can't be beaten without dedicating your life to beating them. And I don't think we're at that point with this game yet. It sure feels like it, but more just because we're in the process of getting there, I believe. Yeah, it's just not the way that I look at speedrunning. The leaderboards are just a collection of our accomplishments. Like, seeing that like that many people were able to beat the game in under 50 minutes and so forth is just cool. But again, I think that like communities that hyperfixate on like what place they're at on the leaderboards and like who's doing what strats around them and what strats they have to do to beat the person who's above them. That kind of mentality is what opens the door for like, again, like people like Suiji to just like come in and be like, oh, I'm gonna actually optimize this shit. I'm gonna actually like push every star as far as it can go. Like eventually there's gonna be somebody like that for every single game that just literally just goes balls to the wall. Like no need to wait for permission to do a certain strat or like update a route, you know. I think that's one of the advantages these smaller communities have, though, is like they're not used to like waiting for somebody to beat them because there's nobody around to beat them in a lot of cases. This game is not one of those cases. Like this game, the runners are really fucking good, but like they're also active and also really fucking good. But there are some games like there just aren't a lot of active players playing them, and they got to be their own source of motivation entirely. You know. JB, I think he joined the Coast Guard, I believe. Yeah, you gotta be your own source of motivation to even like... And then of course you also have to encourage people to get into your game, because underdeveloped games that have not had a lot of, you know, meat picked out of them yet, those are gonna be, like, even if you get really good at the game in that current state, like, imagine like if I never made this game popular, and there were still like 20 people on the leaderboard and like 1 or 2 strat hunters that play the game like once a year, and we were just practicing strats from like 8 years ago, like just hypothetically speaking, like in 2024 the game is still like a 57 or something like that. Like you're not even practicing the real game at that point. Like you don't really know like how many layers are going to come off the game. After a certain point, I think it's fair to say that like some games have reached like, when you start to think of more reasons why a game can't be improved than why it can be improved, like I could write a whole fucking hour-long video essay on why Jellyfish Fields will never move out of the current spot it's in this run unless we find like Ace or something. I could go into great detail, but the fact that like it's no longer a matter of like we can't think of anything to do. Now it's a matter of like we have all these ideas of things that could work, but here's a whole fucking essay of reasons of why things can't work. That's when you know a game is optimized. When like even like when we sit here and like theory craft like that's like what a lot of the strat hunting in this game is now, is like even if this glitch existed and all this stuff were possible, it still wouldn't save time. That's where we're at with this game now. There are history videos on this game already. You can check them out on YouTube if you just search like SpongeBob speedrun history. Matter of fact, I will just... Oh, that's the wrong one. Here it is. There you go. You can watch that. And I'll be making more of those, or I'll be continuing that when sub 40 happens, because it'll be the appropriate time to do it. Yeah, there are a lot of communities that make their own videos on the games they play. You should definitely check those out. Oftentimes, if you're waiting for like somebody who just like makes videos on speedruns to make a video on the speedrun you're interested in, more times than not, if you search for the content, if you like use the search engine to find it, you'll find somebody who made a very in-depth video about the game they played themselves. Yeah, no problem, man. Yeah, those videos covered the origins of the game, like how it became popular in the first place. But I will be covering the last 7 years, or it'll be 8 years soon. 8 years of this game's development when sub 40 happens. It'll actually be 9 years, assuming it takes like another 18 months, you know. But yeah, like always try to be resourceful with that kind of stuff, because like, think about it this way, like a lot of these games, we've been playing them for over a decade, most of us. At this point, these older games have just been played for so long, like, odds are there probably is somebody out there who made a video talking about how the game works and like the records, progressions, and stuff like that. But yeah, the communities that make their own videos are always like, they're always more detailed, more passionate. They have their own opinions on like how the community operates, like how they motivate each other to play and whatnot. This community especially, yeah it does, yeah. This community especially is an interesting story because before, during, and after its ascent to popularity, there was never any world record competition. It was always the same person who had the record the whole time. But it still managed to go through these cycles of being extremely popular and having a lot of strat hunters finding shit. Not for the sake of like generating competition among the runners, but because they just wanted to see the game get faster. And a lot of us were just like, I guess like, fantasizing a day where the game became one of the biggest speedruns, and at one point it did actually happen for a little bit. It was one of the biggest speedruns at some point. And I guess when you're a kid, like, you just care a lot about what people think and what, like, what's popular and whatnot. It's just kind of funny thinking that, like, when we were younger, that was such a motivating factor, was like people just wanted to see the leaderboards get bigger and see more people streaming the game, when like, when you look at it objectively, like, all that's really doing is just getting more eyes on the game to make it faster, where a lot of the sentiment was just like, we want the game to be popular just because, you know what I mean? But there's no like objective value to a game being more popular other than just like more people have eyes on it and more people are finding stuff. And now it's gotten to the point where like, it's only going to be like people who are extremely experienced in strat hunting and speedrunning the game and like thinking critically about it, or people who are just like thinking critically about like strat hunting in general, who have been strat hunting like multiple games for many years, who are going to be able to find stuff. So like, the skill curve for even contributing to the game is so high at this point that like the average person who's just getting into the game isn't going to be able to find anything useful. But back in the day, like, you could still just have a random runner who speaks a foreign language you can't even communicate with. Just do some weird shit that you've never seen before, and then you time it, and then it saves time. You just don't see that anymore these days. Yeah, exactly, because like the streamers put eyes on the game and get people to actually play and strat hunt them, yeah. And like, I don't know what it is, but like once a game like has its first burst in popularity, I can't think of a single game that like died down and became more popular after its first burst. Like, you think of like Sunshine with like Samurai Man and like Average Trey and Bouncy Boy, and when they stopped running, you have like a new generation that comes in and plays it, but it never got to the same level of popularity that it was before. Like Siglamic with Mario 64, even like Punkation and Cheese. Like, the game's still not averaging nearly as many viewers as it used to back in the day. I can't think of any examples. Like, I know that if I stop playing this game, it'll never reach this point again in terms of popularity. So that also like gives me like a feeling of responsibility in a way to keep doing it, even if I don't want to on a given day. What's up, Portal? Yeah, I mean, if it's between a game not being solved and a game being popular, I'll take the game being solved and being less popular. Because like popularity doesn't last forever anyway, you know. Yeah, I mean, Prime was really big during the SDA days, yeah. It's really crazy though that like sub-hour is like also like the mark of death for a lot of games. Like Odyssey never reached that point again either. Even though like the stuff that Tyrant is doing with that game is fucking incredible, and there are also a lot of runners who are really, really good too. But nobody ever talks about the game anymore. It's like it's no longer like culturally relevant. And that's pretty much what happened in this game after like, I guess like sub 50. Sub 50 and the remake coming out like elongated that time period. The period of time between sub 50 / like the GDQ ban all the way through Rehydrated was like that period of time is never going to be matched, unfortunately. I mean, the most live viewers I've had during a world record for any percent was that sub 50 itself, and that was like 1,400 people here. Yeah, the GDQ ban, but I mean, like, people love a good redemption story, man, and the redemption story of how we got the game back into GDQ, and then like the first 43 happened like immediately after, so all the people who are coming in to watch because of GDQ got to see it. I don't know, like that's the kind of shit you just can't make up, man. This game's got a really fucking cool history, dude. Yo, what's up? And then like, even if we just stopped there and just said like, yep, this is the perfect like scope to talk about the history of the game and just like put a cap on it, at least for the next like 10 years. We then, this year, got the first 41 by literally one frame. 41:59.98, so that's 59 frames out of the second. Literally by one frame, that minute break happened. To the point where like the timer itself said 42:00.0. And it retimed to being one frame of splitting late. I've never seen that happen in another game. Like, I've never seen that happen in like even like a 30 FPS game. Let alone a fucking 60 FPS game. It's just crazy. Like, how does it just keep getting better? Like, who's writing this script? And then, now it's like, well, 40 is gonna happen, like, any day now, hopefully. I'm gonna eat shit for saying that. And then it's on to 39, and it's like, I don't know, how, like, I know that 38 will probably happen someday, and, like, it's gonna be sick when it does happen, but, like, realistically speaking, is it gonna be so worth it to, like, wait another 3 years and not cover the game's history just to wait for a 38? No. And even if it happens the next day, literally, like, just for a mental exercise, like, even if it happens the literal next day after 39 happens, it's like, the story is still about the first 39, like, that's the whole, like, it's not gonna, there's not gonna be a bigger headline, you know? There's not gonna be a bigger headline than 39. It'll be a bigger headline than sub 50 was for this community. Maybe not in the general speedrunning community, unless for some reason the game gets insanely popular again over the next year. Yeah, best stopping point for history videos, yeah, but we're never gonna stop playing though, that's for sure. Yeah, there are games that can, like, there are games like SMB1 where it can never be solved, where it can be solved fully, like, quickly, yeah, definitely, but these, like, open routed 3D games with a lot of momentum and extremely precise tricks, those are the games that are never going to be solved, ever. Yeah, I mean, 10 years from now, I can still see myself speedrunning. I can definitely still see myself playing this game 10 years from now. Like, for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm not, but I can definitely see myself speedrunning the game 10 years from now. I don't see why not. Yeah, I think like not that this is like, because there are other variables by like how like competent the runners are and all that, but like compared to like two examples of games that I've ran, like this versus Cosmic Shake, right? Like Cosmic Shake is a game that's like played 15 seconds off of Summit Best at this point for a run that's like similar length. Whereas like we can't even like I haven't even gotten a run within 2 minutes and 15 seconds of my Summit Best in like 2 years at this point. Like there are for sure like games that they just have an infinite skill ceiling and it takes fucking forever to actually master them. Like getting a run within 15 seconds of Summit Best for this game just would not even compute. Like that's just fucking impossible. Also, I guess because it's a different game, like the splits are, there are more splits and there are like variants between splits. Like if something happens in one split, it changes the next split and so forth. But there's not enough of that to cause a 2-minute disparity. That's just simply because the game is difficult. There's a crazy amount of shit to factor in. I need to lower that by like 6 more seconds. Well, realistically, I gotta lower it by like 30 more seconds if I want to try and get a 39. Yeah, and even if strats aren't found, like implementing more things that are considered tasks only and so forth, like that's just like how these games go. I mean, I've been trying to do that for the past 7+ years, but obviously this game didn't really have like a fully fleshed out task until 2020. Before that it was just a low tab that was made in like a week or something. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. This game's got a lot left. Well, I'm gonna use the bathroom. Well, the task was outdated upon arrival because it was done on GameCube and we play on Xbox and there are a lot of like weird contingencies there. But maybe someday, I mean, there are still a good number of active testers in this community. And I think there'll be a full game Xbox test when it's actually like doable, you know? But yeah, I gotta go use the bathroom and then we'll start, okay?